Welcome to this episode of Essays for Youth. I'm Stephen Tubbs with Bob McAdam, and the words that I'm reading, Mr. McAdam, he's penned over the years, and today's topic is called Use It. Participation in a systematic exercise program is really an investment in your good health. It actually saves dollars in preventative medicine down the road, as well as in recovery from accidents, surgery, and sometimes even from disease. Exercise also helps you look better and feel better as well. Prime example. That's right. Consider the chain of events that's triggered by the simple act of maybe running a short distance. Many of these specialized systems of the body, they then spring into synchronized action. Muscles, nerves, your heart, lungs, blood all come to life to support the action. And the interesting fact is that a call to action actually strengthens the structure of the body parts that are involved. When activity is repeated over periods of, say, weeks or months, the body's systems, they gradually strengthen and may even build stronger structure to meet the exercise challenge with more efficiency. This is called conditioning. Some of the changes that take place with conditioning are loss of weight if food intake is about the same and you continue your exercise program, a change in body shape reduction of, say, the fat, an increase in muscle instead, the ability to endure action longer before exhaustion. You get a stronger heart muscle, more blood ejected with each heartbeat, greater efficiency of muscular movement, more strength and vitality, general strengthening of almost all of the body's systems. So in explaining conditioning changes, scientists will say, in all animals, including human beings, function makes structure, meaning that our body's systems grow with activity, or maybe not with inactivity. The popular way of saying it is use it or lose it. Look, if there's anyone that I know that I think over a lifetime has used exercise, not only what it's done for you physically, but mentally as well, that would be you. When did exercise become a part of your life?
When I attended graduate school at the University of Illinois, I asked to be hired at a fitness center that was a research center for fitness. And I learned a lot about it then. We did a lot of measuring of champion athlete performance and that sort of thing. And I'll tell you, I became intrigued because I could see that those people who were exercising were functioning better. I did some research trying to establish a relationship between exercise and simple mental tasks, but I didn't succeed in that. I didn't work. I only worked 3 years on it. It was a lifetime of work, but I had to move along on other things. Mm-hmm. But that's when I first became interested in exercise as a what do I want to say? Not a field that I needed to try to promote. Mm-hmm. And
you know, when you see today, and this is not to shame and guilt any of our younger folks, but I don't know, it seems like such a large portion of folks much younger than us is exercise is not really involved. It's just easier. It's easier and easier seemingly every day to be lazier. The food we eat is not maybe the best for us, but you may not pay the price at that age of not exercising and eating, say, not as healthy as you should, but as you get older, you can, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is, it's not just exercise. It's a kind of exercise. For a long time, we've been under the impression that running and swimming and bicycling, those are aerobic exercises, that they developed a circulatory system, and they're good exercises. But I lucked out on the kind of exercise that I got into because besides developing the circulatory system, I got involved with motor skills. Agility, flexibility, hand-eye coordination, muscular endurance instead of circulatory endurance. And I got involved and it was through a game. Not only that, but in the game, you're synchronizing your mental action with your physical action. I mean, am I going to hit this ball high on the wall to the backhand, or and you're in a minute's time, you're probably stretching, bending, flexing, 20 or 25 times.
And you want to win. There's also that part of it.
Right.
And what he's talking about, and he is, again, a very humble and modest man, the game you are talking about is the game of racquetball.
Right.
I can only imagine people maybe watching going, both those guys are really old. The one guy's older than that one guy, but he's old too. You weren't, say, 12 years old and started playing racquetball. When did you take up the game?
I was 53.
53.
Yeah.
And you would, well, are you going to be humble or can I brag on you?
You can brag on
I'll
me.
brag. He became, in his age group, well into your 80s,
Yeah.
the best in his age group anywhere. Now, that's great for the ego, but look at you. You are, as we sit here, a specimen of great health and mental health. And do you think that there's a direct link to being physically active?
Yes, but I've been very lucky. I haven't stepped in front of a train or anything like that. So.
Right, but what do they say about luck?
No, and you know what? In the long run, all things come to an end, and so I'm very satisfied with the fact that my investment in exercise paid off.
Do you think, and this may be sounding more dramatic than I really mean it, but would we be sitting here today if you had not taken up and had from a young age, you realized the importance, but especially toward, well, let's go to your 53rd year. Would we be sitting here today if you didn't do that?
I don't think so. No.
I don't either.
No, I don't. And
so what I'm trying to tell you folks, and you youth especially, is take up the game of racquetball or some kind of whatever. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would say, running and swimming and bicycling are very good exercises, and they'll help you live a little longer because they develop your circulatory system. But
even a walk, though, right? Taking a walk on a nice day.
Yeah, absolutely. But there are other aspects to exercise. So give a little thought to the kind of exercise you get into.
And when you're our age, you don't want to pull anything. You do not. Final words. When it comes to, I guess, maybe a good wrap-up question would be, what has being physically active and exercise meant to you overall in your life?
Well, obviously, in the last few years, I think I've awakened, and it's because I'm around still. I wouldn't even be around if I hadn't gotten into an exercise program. So,
do your doctors agree with that? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do go to the hospital once in a while, and I went to the hospital, and the doctor who was working the floor came in with a sheet, and he said to the person that was with me, and he says, "I've got 35 people on this list, and the guy who's 100 years old is in the best shape."
I love it. As we sit here doing this episode of Essays for Youth, how old are you?
I'm 101.
What's the youngest somebody has said? Oh, I never thought you were 101. I thought you were...
Oh, I don't know.
Come on.
15.
Or I bet you've been mistaken for being in your 80s or 90s.
I have.
And that's what racquetball will do for you.
No promise, but that's the hope.
He is my hero. I hope he is yours as well. For Bob McAdam, I'm Stephen Tubbs, and thank you so much for watching this edition of Essays for Youth.
Bye-bye.